fresh, healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes, shipped to your door, limited time, $30 off. Your first box, HelloFresh.com/Colin. Chris Broussard in 5 minutes, 10 minutes here. So I started the show talking about this, is that what the media likes isn't what NFL coaches and GMs like. I mean, the media likes comeback stories and Marquette King and Colin Kaepernick and Johnny Manziel. And NFL locker rooms, it's not baseball. Time is everything. Disciplined. You got to be, dedicated. The things that an NFL GM coach want, the media is off in la-la land. What NFL coaches don't want is a social media star as a punter who's calling his own fakes and getting penalties in back-to-back games. No interest. Gruden got rid of Marquette King. The media thinks it's unbelievably frustrating that John Gruden would let go of a flamboyant social media star who's a punter. There's the lack of alignment between NFL media and NFL coaches is astounding. Like baseball's fun and quirky and goofy. There's no clock. There's 162 games. Every game's not urgent. The NBA, 82 regular season games. Stars rest regularly. NFL, you play hurt, always. Time is everything. Can't screw up a play. You forget half a second on one play. Flag! Offside. Flag! Illegal motion. It's a different sport, a different culture. But the people covering the NFL, they're on these storylines that don't align with the people who work in the NFL. So the Seahawks, everybody loved them. The Seahawks were loud and political and flamboyant, and Pete Carroll put his arms around him. And they had the 12th man. What is their identity now? They were 4-4 at home last year. Marshawn Lynch running downhill. They can't run the football. Worst running game in the NFL. Legion of Boom. Old and expensive. Not that scary. Seattle has no identity. You know why? Because Pete Carroll embraced loud, player-friendly, outspoken, contrarian, loose, political. He embraced the wrong thing years ago. Russell Wilson has always been the rock of this franchise. By the way, Russell Wilson has never been given a great deal of respect. I know because I read Twitter. Let me pass along a few things to remind you how good he is. He led the NFL in touchdown passes last year. Don't ask me how. They had the league's worst offensive line and no running game. He has the second highest passer rating in league history, the 8th highest winning percentage. He's never lost 3 games, and the highest fourth quarter passer rating in league history. Don't ask me how. He's never had an elite offensive line, and he's never even had an elite receiving core, although I did think Richardson, Doug Baldwin were pretty good. And I wish Jimmy Graham could still catch. I just want to remind you, the defense has always been given credit here, and Pete Carroll's always been given credit here. This has always been Russell Wilson, his team. Let me remind you what Pete Carroll was this is NFL, pre-Russell Wilson. Fired twice as a head coach, 7-9, 7-9 in Seattle. Post-Russell Wilson, 65-30-1, 2 Super Bowls, 1-1 could easily be 2-0. Pete Carroll, the fans and the media, embraced the fans' 12th man. Marshawn Lynch, Legion of Boom, loud, this, political, loose, contrarian. This is the rock of the franchise. Second highest all-time passer rating. 8th all-time winning percentage. Never lost 3 straight games. Inexplicably led the NFL in touchdown passes. I have no idea how. I have no idea. If you said Tom Brady's got the worst O-line in the league and no running game, I'm not sure Tom Brady would make it through October. Jared Goff, Matt Ryan wouldn't. Russell Wilson has never been fully embraced by this organization. Their GM this weekend said, we're not rebuilding, we're resetting. You're mostly rebuilding. The running game's gone. The O-line's atrocious. You just lost your deep threat. You gave away a pass rusher, a good disruptor to Philadelphia. You got some rebuilding to do. Whether it's your entire franchise or you're just your O-line, you have rebuilding to do. And can we finally embrace the guy who's really been the most important player? By the way, I get loving Richard Sherman. The soundbite years ago with Aaron Andrews. I understand it. Loud gets attention. Richard Sherman was good. I understand why the nation fell in love with Seattle.
Final play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best quarterback
corner of the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. LOB.
All right, and Joe, back over to you.
Richard screaming. Russell Wilson respectfully taking a knee at midfield, quiet, no reporters around him. One guy's now a Niner. One guy now is the only guy that can save Pete Carroll's job. 7-9, 7-9. Now 65-30. The one guy they never embraced is the one guy Pete now needs to save his job. Should have been embraced years ago. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Speaking of the Seahawks, so they lost Richard Sherman. They traded away Michael Bennett, and they're not going to have Jimmy Graham anymore. So there's lots of changes going on there. And Seahawks GM John Schneider is now urging fans to trust the process.
What?
It's a constant reset every single year, and it doesn't stop. I mean, like I said, ever since 2010, we've been doing this, and so when I say reset, people are like, well, it's a rebuilding. We're not rebuilding. It's just a reset. We've got some pretty good players in this football team, and there's a lot of young players that people don't necessarily, they haven't heard their names yet. I remember going through this when we traded Josh Wilson and Kelly Jennings and Marcus Trufant were here, and nobody knew who Byron Maxwell and Richard Sherman and Walter Thurman were.
Sounds a little bit like Philadelphia. You might be wearing a Seahawks jersey later in the season.
I mean, let me ask you this. If they didn't have Russell Wilson, give me just, like, if I said they had Blake Bortles, how do you think Blake Bortles would do with this roster in that division now? Maybe I'm hyperbolic here, but the only reason anybody still, today, this morning, thinks Seattle is an elite franchise is Russell Wilson. That's it.
Do you want to do a preseason prediction? Number of wins?
I think the Rams have a significantly better roster. Not even close.
That's not a prediction.
Well,
I want to know number of wins.
Rams will win the division. I think Seattle, and I'm dead serious, is a 6-7 win team. Ooh. I'm from there. Listen, nobody's happier with their success than I am, but if you took Russell Wilson out of this team, you all know I'm right, you'd be looking at a 4-win team. Unless you replaced him with Aaron Rodgers, which I'm saying the average NFL quarterback, Kirk Cousins with that roster, what are they? Awful.
Are you willing to say that if they win 8 games, you will wear a Seahawks jersey in the air?
No, I'm done doing that. Yeah, done doing that.
I really was hoping I could get you on that. All right. I have to do this. It just came out, and it made me laugh a lot.
Okay.
You know how LeBron has his media platform Uninterrupted?
Yes, yeah, that's his thing, the barbershop thing.
Yes. So they have a show called The Shop, and you're looking at it now.
Yeah.
It's conversations in a barbershop.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Well, he's now reaching out to the University of Alabama about a copyright infringement because they have a show called Shop Talk.
Yes.
Now, his show is called The Shop. This is called Shop Talk.
By the way, they stole...
And hold on. Wait, they stole the premise? Wait, no one else is allowed to do a show in a barbershop? Did you see the movie The Barbershop? Should he go after the barbershop also? Or should they go after him? Let me just read to you the legal language that LeBron and his team have sent to a college.
Okay.
Your continued exploitation of Shop Talk infringes Uninterrupted's copyright, trademark rights, and other valuable intellectual property rights in the shop, and significantly damages Uninterrupted's commercial prospects for the shop. The letter also added that it would rather discuss the matter with the university before rushing into legal proceedings. Really? This is damaging your commercial prospects?
Let me tell you something. I'm not a copyright infringement lawyer. But when I saw the Alabama thing, I'm like, they took the graphics, the music, the premise. By the way, you think it's crazy? It's too close.
A barbershop.
What if a show came out? What if a show came out with our logo and our graphics, and it was called The Herd, but it was spelled H-U-R-D? Would you say, well, it's not H-E-R-D? It's
That's the same name. This isn't even the same name. Let alone, okay, if a college show, some college decided to do even like a spoof, are you really going to go after them legally?
Yes.
Oh, come on. You are not.
If a burger chain came out today called McPatrick's, you
Probably
saw 'em.
exists, by the way. And no, you don't. But again, that is like a professional place. This is a college. LeBron is now going after college kids.
I am
For
totally.
doing a show in a barber shop.
Okay,
Are you kidding?
I want the camera to look right. LeBron, I will represent you legally. Now, I have no experience or knowledge of the legal system, but I will
Then you
represent.
should probably go do this because that's about as ludicrous as this whole idea sounds. Doesn't he have more important things to do?
He's very
Like subtweet or something?
protect his empire.
Jeez. Finally, on Saturday, the Galaxy played LAFC. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a new crosstown rivalry. That was always my favorite saying in local news, the crosstown rivalry or the freeway series.
Yeah.
The Galaxy were down 3-0, but they scored 4 and they wound up winning, including Zlatan Ibrahimovic's goal.
Goal of the year. Watch
Goal of
this.
the- yeah, here it is.
Watch this.
Kamara throwing his body in. It's going to fall for Ibrahimovic. Oh, come on! Come on!
LAFC have just been Zlatan. Welcome to Major League Soccer. Take a bow. Did you think